It's crunch time here in the studios of Austin Peay. Reece Britt, Kristian Hunt, Dillon Walton, back at it again for another week. Guys, I'm happy to be back. I know you're gonna say a little something.
Who is
about
this guy?
So I'm saying, yeah, I'll just go ahead and hit the door. No, but it's good to be back. I know I've been in and out, but you guys have done a phenomenal job. Tried to listen to all of them. So let's just start out opening. What's been going on with the week, in life? I feel like I haven't talked to y'all in a while.
I mean, schoolwork and getting these shows up and running. And, I know you're doing your thing in golf, but it's glad to have you back, buddy.
I appreciate it.
It's good to have the captain back in the ship, you know what I mean?
No, it's you guys are the one that makes the ship run, man. I just kind of put it in between the barriers. What about you, Dillon?
Life's good, man. It's Thursday. Oh, no,
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday night football tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a decent game. Jackson Saints. So, chilling. It was a decent week. I'm ahead on my work.
Yep.
Life's good, man. I'm on TikTok now. I've been making TikToks just about every day, like the last 10 days.
Really?
Yeah, I'm bored.
Dude, we need you on the Crunchtime TikTok. That's what we really need to get you on, but it's up to you, dude. Whatever you want.
I'm down for it. I don't care.
But with me, I mean, we just got back from Cincinnati. We played Xavier's tournament. Course was phenomenal. One of the nicest courses I've ever played. One of the toughest I've ever played, too. We did okay. We finished 9th out of about 14 teams. Wasn't our greatest, but, wasn't the worst either. So we ended out our fall season with that. But it's good. We'll be back in action February 12th against Murray State. We've got Battle of the Border over there at Hopkinsville Country Club. So I'm excited for it. Playing some good golf right now, so just gotta keep it going this winter and see what we got. But let's get right into it. Austin Peay versus Gardner-Webb this past Saturday at home. First home game in a while. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's like the first home game in like a month, basically.
Yeah, something like that. So Govs get the win over Gardner-Webb 41-14 to get their 4th victory in a row. Mike DeLillo went 31 for 41, 372 yards, and tossed 2 touchdowns and ran for 1.
Big numbers.
He had a field day.
You know what the biggest number is? 0 turnovers.
Zero. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. He's had trouble with that the past couple games. So I'm glad to see he's kind of reining it in a little bit, finding his guys.
The offense is moving. It looked good.
Yeah.
I'm still tired of the RPOs, but it looked good. It looked good. It's more bombs. I told you, more bombs. Open it up. I told you.
Find Cam Thomas and get him the ball.
Yeah.
No, for sure that.
Well, what's interesting is Cam Thomas wasn't even he didn't even lead in any category. Javon Jackson had over 100 yards on the ground with 1 touchdown. 2 Govs receivers went for over 100 yards. Trey Shackelford and Trey Goodman.
They got hands too. They can catch. They got hands.
Yeah, and like you were saying, I mean the deep ball, that is what they want to do. Yeah. They want to make the defense come up and then beat them over the top.
Yeah.
Make them respect the run too. That's a big thing. That's a big thing that they've been wanting to do as well.
3 straight games for Javon Jackson with over 100 yards. We did find out, because I know we had that question last episode, what happened to C.J. Evans. Fortunately, he tore his ACL.
Gosh.
So it sounds like his season is done.
Yeah.
No,
but it's we now know, because we got the inside scoop from Barry Gresham.
Yeah,
with him calling the game. But yeah, man, he's it's a tough loss to have at this point in the season, but when you got a guy like Javon Jackson who's doing his thing, it's keeps it going.
Yeah. The thing with CJ too is he's veteran presence. He's been there, he's done that. He knows, he knows the offense. He runs downhill. He gets north and south. Doesn't
play around. In the
he doesn't
backfield.
do that. Yeah, he just kind of gets downhill, hits the hole, and tries to get to the second level. So, but Javon's been doing a good job, obviously. But the wide receivers, Trey Shackelford, 8 catches for 126 yards, and Trey Goodman, 5 catches for 101 yards. Neither of them caught a touchdown, but I mean, let's be honest. If you're going for 100 yards, over 100 yards in a game as a wide receiver,
got a tutty.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's kind of how it goes. But Trey Goodman on the year, 8 receptions, 400 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's had 3 games with over 80 yards receiving. Can we officially name him? He's kind of our guy out there. I mean, he's kind of the wide receiver 1 for that receiver room, and it's a loaded receiver room, to be completely honest.
Yeah. So the 2 guys that caught touchdowns were Jaden Barnes and Brennan Hawkins.
Yeah.
Both of them had Barnes had 31 yards, Hawkins had 22 yards, but yeah, I mean, apparently if you need a deep play, you go to Trey Goodman, because you said 8 catches, how many yards?
101.
What is that averaging? I mean, good God, that's
5
well,
catches.
20.
Okay, hold on. He's got 18 catches on the year.
Oh yeah, 18 catches on the year, 400 yards.
There we go. I was like,
I thought you were saying about the game. I was like
8 catches for 500 yards. I was like, that's like
26.
40 yards a catch.
Oh gosh,
like 20,
no. Did I say
20.
8?
Yeah, you said 8.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
thought you
missed the one.
Guys. I missed the one there. That's my fault. 18 catches.
It's
for
okay.
400 yards.
He's missed like 7 weeks now. It's fine.
Yeah, seriously.
He's rusty.
I am rusty. No, it's good. But on the defensive end, Corey Chapman, 8 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a pick 6. He was ejected in the football game, so that wasn't ideal. But I mean, what a sequence before that.
You got a front row view to that pick 6.
Bro, he was a dog. I read it, and I don't know if I got it on the cams, but I was like, oh, if he jumps this, I said he's going home. I was like, he jumped. He was in a different rhythm all night. I seen it on like the second drive, defensive drive. He was moving. He was reading the gaps. Him and Howard.
Yeah, Sam's a dog.
Yeah.
Sam's a dog.
They
Same with Tyler.
You don't want to run in the middle with those two guys.
No.
Yeah.
But then you don't want to run on the outside either because you got Corey Chapman waiting right there for you.
K-Chap. Yeah, that's
targeting.
exactly right.
He did target. Was it a targeting?
Yeah, it was a targeting, and it's
Was it
interesting.
blatant? Was it like, yeah, that's targeting?
Yeah.
I didn't see the replay because hey, we're doing our thing
Yeah.
for ESPN Plus,
Yeah, I couldn't see
producing the
the
games
replay.
and whatnot. But I didn't see it and see if it was blatant. Now, since it was in the second half, the rule is, I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe is that he is automatically disqualified for the first half,
right?
Unless they can appeal it. I know there have been times in which you can appeal it.
Oh, first half of next game?
Yep, next game he's out.
Oh, that's lame.
Unless they appeal it and they win it. If they win the appeal, then he'll be good to go to play. But we'll find out here on the road when they play Southern Utah whether or not. Yeah, it's a big loss.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because think about it in this aspect is that if you get a targeting penalty right before halftime, it could be seconds before halftime. You can't play for that second half, but you're in for the next game, right? But if you come right out of the locker room in the third quarter and get a targeting penalty, like, in the third, right out of the locker room, you can't play for that half and the next. So it's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's
technically you did miss a half.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you get it, you've already played a half of football basically right before halftime. You get it. You're only out for a half a game.
Yeah,
does that make sense? It's weird. It's weird how they've done that.
It's a weird rule but again, hopefully they can appeal it if it's not like blatant. Now, if it is blatant, then it's kind of one of those things where you just kind of have to live with the consequences. But
I don't think he did though.
It didn't look
like
live. It didn't lock like anything crazy. Like, I mean, they ended up throwing the flag like super late.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, really?
Like, it was kind of like the play had already happened, and then they came out late and was like, "Hey, we're going to look at this for targeting." So.
I've been seeing that more recently, just trying to protect the offensive ball carrier of throwing the flag. Like, after the play's already done, like, they're throwing the flag. I think and I don't know how it is at this level, the FCS level, but the FBS level, you've got somebody in your ear. You've got somebody in your ear saying, hey, let's look at that. Throw, toss something out or, blow it dead or whatever.
They might. I mean, they have replay capability, so I'd imagine they'd have something similar to that.
Yeah, they probably do. But anyways, we've got, Gov's defense forced 2 turnovers, gave up 300 yards total, 150 on the ground, 153 passing. So, I mean, it was a balanced attack for the Bulldogs. Yeah. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the Govs pretty much handled them pretty good.
Yeah, it's we talked about it on the last episode. I mean, Dillon, you can remember this. I talked about how this had the smellings of a trap game,
and
it almost was because 20-14 late in the third quarter.
And that's when we got the 2 picks.
We got the turnovers. They missed a field goal, a chip shot field goal, missed it, and had the doink. Hit the upright. So that helped us out. I think that was right before halftime.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's 3 points they missed out on. But
it's supposed to be tied. I think if they would have tied it up.
I think it was supposed to be 10-10 at half, and then they doinked the kick.
And then we scored coming right out.
Yeah, it's so it's a little bit misleading, and plus we got a touchdown real late, which there's it's 2-pronged because on the one hand I kind of wish we'd have just taken a knee and gotten out of there and been good sportsmen, but at the same time when you're talking about playoff resumes, you need as many points as you can. So it kind of puts Coach Walton in a bind because it's like, well, if I need that extra touchdown to get me in the playoffs, I'm going to do it.
Right.
So, but it's a little misleading score. But hey, at the end of the day,
you think we still had a chance though? Just say the game kept going how it went. You think we still had a chance
to win the game or to get
to win?
No, yeah. I mean, it's listen, at the end of the day, the one number that counts is the one that's in the left or right column. We got the number in the left column.
Right.
Yeah.
So it
no matter what happens.
No matter what happens. Listen, the style points, I get that argument, but at the same time, you got to win the game. That's the most important part. And then on top of that, if you can get style points, then sure, get them.
Yeah.
But you won the game. That's all that matters.
And you know what's interesting is, we're going to look at this game at the end of the season, and we're not even going to remember any of this stuff we talked about. We're going to look and say, oh, 41-14. That's a good win. That's a great win right there against a pretty solid Gardner-Webb team.
It was a good win. I can't lie.
That's what I'm saying.
They had a true freshman starting, and he actually played fairly well, minus the pick six.
Yeah, and they've got a defensive end that is going to be in the NFL.
Okay.
He's going to either be a late round draft pick, or he's going to be a free agency guy that a team picks up for camp. He's really good. I don't know his name, but I was talking to a few of the football guys, and they said, yeah, that guy's a stud.
Offensive line held up pretty well.
Yeah.
They did really well against Gardner-Webb. They did pretty well. So it seems like the offensive line has kind of got that continuity that we talked about earlier in the season. So when you got the offensive line playing well, that's usually a good sign for your football team.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all the best teams in the nation, especially at the FCS level. What's one thing that you say is universal? The physicality on both sides of the football on the front lines.
Strong.
Exactly. You start your front five on offense, your front seven on defense. If they are physical and they impose their will on another team, they're going to win that football game.
Domination, boys.
Yeah. And I think that's where ultimately we have to get better at, if we want to compete with North Dakota State and South Dakota and North Dakota and all
Southern
these
Utah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like these type of, Northwestern, I don't even know what you'd call
Midwest.
Yeah, it's Midwest, but it's like, up there near Canada. We want to compete with those guys,
the Canadian teams.
Sure. Right, yeah. We've got to get more physical. We have to, at the point of attack, we have to be able to physically dominate the other team. So, I think we've done that so far, but we haven't been tested as much as what those teams have, at least to this point. So, but APSU right now sits third in the UAC standings behind Central Arkansas. Very good team, by the way.
Very good team.
Yeah.
In Eastern Kentucky, Austin Peay sits at 4-2 right now with a 1-0 record in the UAC. They play Eastern Kentucky November 4th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. That's at Eastern Kentucky. Then Central Arkansas, last game of the year. That could come down. That could be an interesting.
Is that here? Or is that?
No, well.
Is it the last game of the year?
The Central Arkansas game is the last game of the year, and I believe it is at Central Arkansas.
It's here.
Is it really?
November 18th, 1 p.m. Central Time.
If it is, then that's huge.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, because you're right, because the two away games are the Utah games. We got this upcoming against the Thunderbirds, and then we got Utah.
We got Utah Tech here.
Yeah.
No, it's Eastern Kentucky is the other away game.
Eastern Kentucky's away, and then we've got Central Arkansas November 18th here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's here. So. Listen,
so big.
Listen, you got to take care of the one in front of you first.
That's true.
Yeah, we got to take care of 1, 2, 3, 4 in front of us first.
Yeah.
So we got a long way to go, but it could potentially be for the conference right there.
Right.
That would be a ridiculous game. Now, that's a game I love to broadcast right there. See, you know what I mean? Those are the games you live and die for right there.
We just hit it. Every game from here on is UAC games.
Yeah.
So it's every game from here on out is essentially the playoffs, because if you lose one of these games late down the stretch, that could be it. That could be the difference.
Yeah, exactly. This game this past weekend against Gardner-Webb, that ended. We will play no more non-conference games for the rest of the year. We will be playing straight UAC competition, and so every single game. If you thought, that's what I'm saying. If you thought we needed to lock in now, we really need to lock in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the point in the year where it's like, okay, guys, like. We need to be extra motivated.
How bad do you want it?
Exactly.
How bad do you want it?
So, but let's talk about the game against Southern Utah here for a little bit. Govs have to travel to Cedar City, Utah. Don't ask me where that is. I'm going to be completely honest. Their mascot's the Thunderbirds, so whatever a Thunderbird is as well. But no, it's good. So they left today. They're going to stay in Vegas, and then they're going to play on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
What time is that game? Do we know?
I got it right here. 7 o'clock for our time.
Central.
7 o'clock Central.
Yeah, that's like 4 o'clock their time, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. That's another thing that could be the difference is the time change with like body, and I think that's why they're leaving today to try and get bodies acclimated and whatnot to the, I guess, what is that, West or Mountain Time maybe?
I think it's Mountain Time technically.
Gosh. That's even tougher. That's crazy.
The thin air.
Yeah, that's even tougher. But Southern Utah currently sits 2-4, 1-1 in the ACC, or not the ACC, the UAC. They're fifth right now in the conference standings. Thunderbirds are coming off their bye week after defeating Tarleton State on October 7th, 27-26. So coming off a tough game, win with that, but it's their bye week. They've had 2 full weeks to prepare for Austin Peay. What do we think about that?
It's it's a two-prong argument because some people dislike the bye week in terms of because football is a rhythm game. It's you want to hit your stride at the right time, but at the same time you get to rest up, you get to kind of mentally recharge, you get to see the family, it's gonna give them opportunities schematically to look at Scotty Walden's offense, look at the defense, and really kind of see if there's any holes that they can try to take advantage of. And then like you said, we have to travel a pretty fair distance, and so it's a big game. Listen, I know the records say what they are, but listen,
it's a huge game.
It's a huge game, and you got a lot of factors going against you. They're coming off a bye week. You're traveling far. You got a lot of guys who are probably banged up, who are probably a little tired. They're going to be tired, so it's a big game, Dillon. I mean, it's like we said, from here on, it's basically the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what it's about. This is the nitty gritty. How bad do you? We don't care how long the flight is. We don't care how long the bus ride is. We don't care how cold it is. If you really want to win, none of that's gonna matter.
Preach.
None of that's gonna matter. You go push that extra 2 yards for that first down. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
This is what it's about. Right?
Fire off the ball.
The bread and the butter, baby. This is what I like about sports right here. It ain't none of the outside stuff, the media. It's in the inside. It's for the heart. Yep. It's where you breathe and eat and sleep and wake up in the morning.
This is what you go through February workouts when it's like 10 degrees and you're running stadiums and you're just like hating life. This is what you do it for, is because now you're starting to, like you said, and like Dillon said, the nitty-gritty part of your conference play, which, most college teams are in now. Yeah. So this is what it's about. And now it's a sprint, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to say that. It's like at this point in the year, like you like we just said, you have to be ready to play week in and week out, because there's going to be no bad competition from here.
No.
You're not going to get an ETSU for the rest of the year. You're not going to get you're not going to get a team like that for the rest of the year. So you're going to have to play a really good brand of football for 60 minutes to beat each and every one of these teams.
And if you do, month and a half.
Yeah, exactly. So. But let's talk a little bit about what Southern Utah has playmakers wise. They got Justin Miller at quarterback. Miller has 1,424 yards through the air, 14 TDs into 6 interceptions. So not a bad not a bad spread there. But Isaiah Wooden, 32 catches, 416 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the year. That's, I guess, their go-to receiver on the outside there. Miller is going to be trying to find him quite a bit. But as we've said already, Southern Utah's record does not reflect how they are as a football team. They're a good football team.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, you take Arizona State to the wire. I mean, you take a look at their schedule. I mean, like you said, 24-21 lost to Arizona State, a Power 5 team. Next week they get beat pretty bad, 41-16 to BYU, but then 23-21 loss to UC Davis. Then you get the win over Western Carolina in a pretty good fashion. You lose by 2 points to the leader in the conference right now, Central Arkansas, and then you just come off a win against Tarleton State. So listen, 2-4 don't mean squat right now.
No.
They're a good football team, and the Govs are going to have their hands full going to Utah. So it's again, it's easy to look at the record and be like, oh, we should easily win this game, but that's not the case.
This is the trap game. This is the trap game.
Yeah,
all of them from now on are the trap game, other than maybe Central Arkansas, because you don't got nobody after that, unless obviously you make the playoffs, which is still in reach, no doubt. Govs right now, they're 24th in the polls, FCS football polls. We forgot to mention that up front, but UC Davis, a team that Southern Utah took down to the wire, they're ranked in the poll. So I mean, this team's not bad, regardless of what their record is. They can play some football. So we're
balanced attack. They cool.
Yeah,
we're balanced attack.
I was about to say we're excited to see what the Govs got, but
Justin Miller's got very similar numbers to Mike DiLello passing wise, like pretty similar.
Yeah.
So it's this is not a cakewalk. The Thunderbirds are real.
Yeah, this
They're legit. They may not be a real animal, but they're real. Like it's
The Thunderbirds are legit.
the Thunderbirds are legit.
No, they're real. They're real.
Yeah.
They're real.
I mean,
No, it's good, but I mean the question is, the Govs have won 4 straight ball games. Can they make it 5?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think they can. Obviously, I mean, what give us a little score prediction for this weekend.
I'm gonna go 28-24.
Okay,
It's going to be gritty.
that.
Yeah.
I think Javon Jackson is going to be huge in this game. The
Little game
biggest,
breaker.
again, we say it every week, but the biggest factor of whether the Govs win or lose the game is Mike DeLello's turnover numbers.
Facts.
If he keeps it to 1 or less, I think we win. If he's 2 or more, then it gets real dicey. So I think that is the key factor. You can't turn the ball over, period, but especially on a big road game like this, you cannot turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Depending on, you think the defense can stand up if he throw 2 or more picks? You think I think we have a defensive game, to be honest.
Our defense has been playing super well
Yeah.
over the stretch. They had that hiccup against SIU, but ever since then, they have played extremely well. They've taken the ball away at an efficient level. It depending on whether Corey Chapman's able to play in the first half, that could be a big factor in the game. We're not going to know that until essentially they kick off. But it's, again, you got to try to find a way to take it a couple away if you're the defense. That's the
At
big
least
thing.
one.
Yeah.
You got to come out with one.
And offensively, you got to make sure you don't turn the ball over. I think that's the big key on the road. Do not turn the ball over, because if you do,
It's
then
gonna
you
be
put
packed in there.
You think so? See, that's what I was just gonna say. Is like, do they have a good I know nothing about Southern Utah football.
I
Their
got
culture,
ESPN
they're
Plus.
nothing.
I'm finna pull up a
Like,
quick home.
Are they even do they have a fan base? Like, do they do people come to their games? Like, are they hot Twitter? Like, what's the
only
what's
reason
the situation here?
The only reason I know before this season and we joined the merger of the conferences, the only reason I knew they were a school to begin with was the left tackle for the Chicago Bears, Braxton Jones, played there and was a 3rd-round pick a couple years ago.
Interesting.
And so when I remember when I was going through the notes of Southern Utah, I saw his picture pull up, and I was like, "Oh, that's right, he went there." So it's like it was kind of one of those things where it's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that school."
Okay.
But now that they're in the UAC, it's like now I'm like, "Oh,
You're
locked in.
locked. Yeah,
I'm locked in." I'm sitting there like looking up what a Thunderbird is online.
I don't know if that shows more dedication
What
to
a
to this podcast or more dedication to your Bears fandom. That you knew the left tackle and you remembered that he was from.
Well, it's not a Bears fandom; it's just like football fandom in general.
All right, that's
and
fair.
plus, dude, offensive
fair.
lineman, like that's my jam.
Yeah, that's where you're
I
at.
do
like
love
that.
a good offensive line. I respect them.
Oh yeah,
That's the most important. I mean,
most important position outside
Yeah.
of quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, on the offensive side, that is the most important position, no doubt in my mind.
I mean, in terms of importance in football, to me, it's quarterbacks number 1, and then you
O-line.
put
Probably
the trenches,
center. Yeah,
offense and defensive line together,
yeah,
and then you probably put DB/receiver.
yeah. Defensive back stuff.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
I say running back.
I see running. I don't know. I mean, granted, Javon Jackson's pretty important to the Govs team.
Yeah, I
He's
mean, let's
pretty
be
important.
honest. Yeah, if I think so. So Dillon, what's your score prediction? Give us a little.
I'm gonna say 21-17.
Okay. 21-17.
I think we gonna strap up and get ready to
if,
fight.
if I didn't make it clear, it's 28-24, us winning.
Right.
Let's
yeah,
make
yeah.
that clear.
No, I got you. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of on the same track as you guys. I think score's going to be 20 to. I think it's going to be 20 to 16. I think something weird's going to happen.
I was thinking something.
It's like 16 points. Like you're like, okay, how do you get there in football? But I don't know. Something weird's going to happen. A safety, 3 points here or there. Something's going to happen. A missed extra point. Something's going to happen to where Southern Utah gets to 16. We get to 20.
7 points, and then you get 3 field goals. Is that my
That's
math
9.
correct?
Yeah, that's 16.
Yeah, that's 16.
Yeah, I'm no math major. That's why I'm here, boys.
Well,
So don't-
in weird games like this is when special teams is
Exactly.
huge.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Huge.
But if we
I don't-
lose though, we get blown out.
you think so?
Yeah, if we lose, we
Nah,
don't lose
I
a
don't think
close
it's gonna be a
game.
blowout unless we turn the ball over 6 times.
Yeah, if
You
we
know?
lose,
I mean,
it's
we've
a
done that
blowout.
before, but that's
We don't
in the
lose
past.
close
We've
games.
looked like a
We don't
different
lose
team.
close games.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out this
Hot take.
Saturday.
It's a
Yeah.
little bit of a hot take. I hope you're not speaking that into existence there, Dillon.
Yeah,
no
come on
jinxing.
now. Yeah, come on now, come on now. No, what would you go
No,
for?
I'm
What
just
were you gonna
saying,
say,
like a
finish
guy
up?
like again, we keep harping on him, but a guy like Cam Thomas could really make a difference
Yeah.
in this game with like a kick return, a punt return, or maybe, Joe Papalardo, the special teams coach, can find a way to block a punt, or just something different.
Somebody
like you
got to
said.
step up.
Yeah, just somebody's got to make a play.
I could see like an extra point getting blocked, and then just us pick it up and take it 90 yards back for.
If that happens, then you need to buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, I know, but
for
like
real.
but it's something like that I just have a feeling is going to happen because
like a
one,
safety or something.
Well, like one, it's not a Austin Peay football game if something weird doesn't take place,
Facts.
right? And then two, it's like okay, Southern Utah. It's probably going to be a pretty gritty atmosphere outside, either rain or cold
Sleet
or
or
it
something.
might be sleeting. I mean, I don't know.
I think this is the
Southern
first
Utah.
meeting between the two teams, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see what's the
I'm about to
temperature
say,
gonna be.
yeah. I mean, if I were going to put some money on it, I'd say, yeah. I don't know that for a fact, but I'd say so. But we're all excited here. I think this is the first time we've traveled all the way out there, right?
I mean, we've gone to Sacramento State in
Yeah, that was-
19,
God,
but
19.
it's
4 years ago.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, maybe there's a couple guys. Maybe Bryce Robinson. I think Bryce Robinson was on
Yeah,
that team. But
no,
outside, granted, Bryce Robinson is also like 30 years old. So
Yeah, fifth year guy.
Yeah. No, I
he's
love you,
good.
Bryce.
No, I know. I like Bryce too. He's a good guy. But let's move on to some other sports. We're excited for the football game, but let's not overlook some of the other fall sports here. The Lady Govs for women's golf, they got back from Arkansas State yesterday. They finished 6th, so I think that was the first time they've lost since what would that be? The first week of September.
Yeah. They came second the first round of matches, and then
Yep.
they won 3 in a row.
They've
and
won 3 in a row, and then
we talked them up, Dillon. We hyped them up, and then they just blew it.
Nah, we ain't gonna say they blew it. That's how it goes.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how it goes.
So how the golf actually, like how golf tournaments work? It's not just Austin Peay versus Arkansas State. It's like Austin Peay and a bunch of other like 10 other teams.
It's
So,
just
like,
the host school. That's why they call
Yes,
it's like the Red Wolves
exactly.
Classic is because it's the host
Exactly.
school.
So,
So-
the men's golf, we just got back from Xavier's tournament.
Yeah.
But like Xavier was there, Tennessee Tech was there. You had West Virginia. You had High Point University. You had just like all of these other schools that you're playing against in the same tournament. It's just the reason they call it Xavier Invitational or
That's the home
the
spot.
Red. Yes, that's who's hosting the tournament and hosting all these teams for the week. So like the men, we finished 9th. Well, there was 14 teams there. 9th isn't great by any means, but
You won 14.
well, that's what I'm saying. We weren't 14th. So the girls being first in all those tournaments, that's something special that we don't really want to overlook because, you're beating
Top team.
you're beating like 12 to 14 other teams and winning that tournament
So
for
how
them to
many
do it 3 in a
teams
row.
was in this one?
For that one, I think there was probably about 15. Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. But they played some really good competition and
to our standards that we hold them to, it's like we now we're to the point where we're like, man, if we don't come in third, we're just like, what's going on?
yeah, you're like, yeah, on fire. No, they're
Is she on the hot
really
seat?
good. Yeah, no, not even
No,
close.
no.
Trust me. But women's soccer's coming off a tie this past Sunday against Queens, 1-1. Their last game before Queens, I think it was against Kennesaw State. They also had a 1-1 tie. So I don't know how that plays out for the standings in soccer, but it's not a loss.
Well, because their record right now is, let me have it right here. It's 5-9-4.
So they've had 4 ties.
So is the 9 the tie or is the 4 the
No,
tie?
the 4 would be the tie.
4 would be the
The
tie.
4 would be the tie.
Okay. Well then, so I mean, you're essentially 500.
Yeah,
With
pretty
the
much.
ties,
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much. Yeah.
Again, I don't know. It's like
probably like
Yeah.
7-11. You can. At least you
Yeah,
have
I mean,
to
it probably
split
some of them could have gone the other way
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
At least
but
7-11, 9-9 at best.
yeah, that's why I hate ties. It's just
yeah, I know.
screw everything
I
up.
wish because I went to the soccer game against Kennesaw State and they and they were like just you kept playing and then they just stopped it and we were just like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Like,
it was actually
but-
0-0 as the score.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they just stopped it like right 90 minutes. But anyways, so basketball media days this past Monday, Govs Madness. We're excited for that, and we'll have more on that when we when closer to basketball season.
Girls'
And I know
Madness
that's
today?
you.
Hold on, dog.
No, it's the 26th.
The 26th.
We had media day. Us, all the
On
GAs went and recorded it. Barry Gresham's got an interview with some guys.
Yeah.
A little preview for you guys. What will be coming out here in a little bit.
It'll be fun. It'll
plug.
be a really good time. But we want to thank everybody for this podcast. Steve Sawyer, David Ellison, Doc for letting us use the studio. All the GAs, Trey and Paige back there. They're the ones that make this whole ordeal go. We just sit and talk sports. So, but that'll do it for us. Y'all have a great week and go Govs.
Go Govs.